The Golden Promise: How the Specie Resumption Act Turned Trust into Policy and Prosperity into Pain. 1. Paper, Panic, and the Price of Trust. After the Civil War, America was drowning in paper money, greenbacks printed to keep the Union alive. They worked in wartime, but peace revealed their curse: inflation. With no gold or silver backing, every dollar's value floated on public confidence alone. When faith faltered, prices soared, and politics turned ugly. On one side stood the hard money believers who wanted gold's discipline. On the other, soft money populists, farmers and workers, who saw flexible paper as their lifeline. So what does that actually mean? It means America's fight over money wasn't about math, it was about survival. Footnote. This section introduces the greenback era and how inflation birthed the central conflict between hard money elites and soft money populists. 2. The Act That Changed Everything. By 1875, President Grant and Treasury Secretary Boutwell pushed for a return to gold-backed currency. They believed paper money was weakness disguised as progress. Congress agreed, passing the Specie Resumption Act, which promised that by 1879, greenbacks could be redeemed for gold at face value. The goal? Stability. The result? A slow-motion collapse. To prepare for redemption, the Treasury withdrew money from circulation. Liquidity dried up, prices fell, wages followed, and the nation entered the Long Depression. Farmers went broke, railroads failed, and strikes spread like fever. So what does that actually mean? It means in chasing gold, America forgot people. Footnote. This section explains how the Act's deflationary preparation triggered the Long Depression and crushed working-class livelihoods. 3. When confidence became currency. Then came the twist. On January 1, 1879, resumption finally arrived. But no one rushed to exchange paper for gold. The act worked not because of metal, but because belief returned. People trusted greenbacks again simply because the government said they could. Ironically, once redemption was guaranteed, no one wanted it. So what does that actually mean? It means the true gold standard wasn't in Fort Knox, it was in people's minds. Footnote. This section highlights how public faith, not physical gold, stabilized U.S. currency after resumption. 4. The human cost of sound money. Behind the victory headlines lay wreckage. Farmers in the South and Midwest faced shrinking crop prices and growing debts. A dollar's value rose, but their income fell. They called it the rich man's policy. Bankers smiled as their assets gained power, while laborers struggled to eat. From this despair rose the Greenback Labor Party, a populist rebellion demanding government-issued money for public good, not private profit. They didn't win, but they changed politics forever. So what does that actually mean? It means sound money often sounds great only to those who already have it. Footnote. This section reveals how deflation fueled populist politics and deepened class division. 5. The Empire of Credit. Wall Street, however, celebrated. Gold convertibility made American bonds respectable again, especially in London. Foreign capital poured in, and the U.S. looked like a global financial powerhouse. But prosperity was selective. The act created a system that stabilized capital while destabilizing labor. Rent rose, wages stagnated, and the gap between Main Street and the money men became a canyon. So what does that actually mean? It means America traded equality for credibility, and got neither in the long run. Footnote. This section contrasts international prestige with domestic inequality resulting from gold resumption. 6. The politics of pain. Monetary policy became the battleground of everyday life. Hard money Republicans hailed gold as honor. Democrats and populists called it betrayal. For the first time, farmers and shopkeepers learned that monetary reform wasn't theory, it was dinner-table reality. Falling prices meant less food, fewer jobs, and more resentment. Every dollar gained in value was another nail in the coffin of small-town America. So what does that actually mean? It means economic policy had finally learned how to vote. Footnote. This section shows how monetary decisions shaped political identities and social divisions across post-war America. 7. The chain reaction. The gold standard's inflexibility haunted the decades ahead. Panic struck in 1873, 1884, and 1893, each born from tight credit and fragile confidence. The Treasury's discipline became the people's punishment. National banks gained dominance, issuing notes backed by government bonds. Money creation, once a public act, quietly became private profit. The system favored creditors, punished debtors, and rewired power toward Wall Street. So what does that actually mean? It means America's banking elite didn't just win the war over money, they rewrote its constitution. Footnote. This section traces how resumption consolidated private control over money creation and birthed the foundations of the Federal Reserve. 8. The seeds of revolt. By the 1890s, discontent returned in silver form. The free silver movement demanded a bimetallic standard, gold and silver together, to expand the money supply. William Jennings Bryan gave it a voice in his Cross of Gold speech, thundering that workers were being crucified on gold's altar. His words echoed every farmer's frustration, but the establishment held firm. Gold stayed, the people bent. So what does that actually mean? It means history's scales were tipped, and silver couldn't balance them. Footnote. This section links the Specie Resumption Act's deflationary legacy to the populist free silver uprising of the 1890s. 9. The rise and fall of the golden idol. By 1913, the Federal Reserve was born, inheriting gold's promise and its curse. The Great Depression later exposed that curse in full. Bound by gold, the government couldn't expand credit or aid the unemployed. Stability became a straitjacket. In 1933, FDR broke it, ending gold redemption once and for all. The Golden Age had ended not with collapse, but with relief. So what does that actually mean? It means the very chains of confidence had to be broken to save the people who forged them. Footnote. This section describes how gold's discipline evolved into the Federal Reserve System and eventually collapsed under the Great Depression. 10. The illusion of stability. Every generation since 1875 has replayed the same argument in new clothes. Whether it's austerity, debt ceilings, or central bank tightening, the logic remains: protect the system first, the people second. The Specie Resumption Act proved that monetary success can mask human suffering. Stability bought with pain isn't stability, it's a slow-motion collapse disguised as virtue. So what does that actually mean? It means every dollar of faith still costs someone else a dollar of struggle. Footnote. This section concludes that financial order, when divorced from human equity, becomes a moral illusion rather than a public good.